I'm Tedy Bruschi, Super Bowl champion and stroke survivor. I've made it my mission to help people know the warning signs of stroke and to get help immediately. I talk about stroke and I think of my grandfather or my grandmother, the elderly population, and I didn't think it could have affected me. And not only that, but I didn't know what the warning signs were. I woke up in the middle of the night and I had this severe unexplained headache and numbness down the left side of my body.
The running list in my head of things that I thought that this could be, stroke was never on my mind. We had been through pain before. I had seen him in pain before.
But being a pro athlete and playing football before, you sort of just have the mentality of just, I'll sleep it off. Everything's going to be okay. I didn't realize something was wrong until the next morning when I realized it affected my vision. And I couldn't see my son come in from the left. I heard him come in from the left, and he startled me when he popped in my vision on the right side of my body. And that's when I realized something was wrong.
We had very young children. We had a newborn, 6-week-old and 3-year-old, 4-year-old at that time. And I immediately felt overwhelmed with everything.
How did we not know? How did we not know what was happening? How did we not call 911 in the middle of the night when I was suffering those symptoms? How did we not have that knowledge or information?
A lot of people think having had a stroke is a very depressing, negative situation, but what we find is just about everybody who's had a stroke improves during the course of rehabilitation. Usually things are changing quite quickly in the first few days and weeks after a stroke. Things begin to stabilize, and you turn the corner and you start to recover consistently.
Tedy was no different than any other person who has stroke. He was in utter shock. I'm active, I'm fit, how could this have happened to me? So a lot of people go through that right after stroke. After a while, they kind of realize, okay, this did happen to me, and now I got to do something about it. What can I do about it? And you go into that kind of fighting mode that most patients will, that drive to do something. Tedy just did it to a little more extreme. As you probably know, he doesn't do anything without passion. So
when Anne first walked in the door, you know, Anne, being a professional football player in a locker room, you're not used to working with women. It's a private setting, so in comes a woman, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, how hard is she going to make me work? You know, okay, how's this going to go? And she passed with flying colors.
Yeah. You try to motivate them. You have to get inside people's heads. You have to be able to read people and figure out what it is that motivates them. We all tick to something else. You know, we all need something unique that makes us motivated.
She earned my confidence very quickly with her knowledge, with her demeanor, and with her toughness also, when she knew how to be tough with me when it was time.
I'm just grateful for the second chance that we were given, and I think Spaulding is a big, big part of that.
People used to think that you reached a wall, that 3 to 6 months out after the stroke, that was it. You had finished your recovery and you really weren't going to progress anymore. But research over the last 15 years has really revealed that to be a myth.
You have to give people hope. Sometimes we're so focused on what people can't do after stroke, and we really should be focused on this is what you can do.
When I was playing for the Patriots, I felt comforted knowing who my head coach was, who my owner was, and the other players that were on that team, knowing that they were going to do their job to the best of their ability for us to win football games. And that's the same feeling and confidence I developed with Spaulding.
You know, I love that saying, find your strength, because we do say that to people.
I wanted everything so quickly to happen. Like, I can drive. Let me drive.
Oh, yeah, that
No,
conversation.
you cannot drive.
I had to pull the reins in, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Myself right now, I'm not the same as I was before my stroke. I believe I'm better. I believe I'm better. It was the biggest challenge of my life, and to come through when I look back on it and everything that we went through with our marriage also, the stress it put on our marriage. I know our marriage is definitely stronger because of what we went through, but the one thing you need is patience, because it won't happen fast.
People may think he wanted to get back on the field, and yes, that was on his mind, but it wasn't his primary focus. He talked about his getting back to his family and his role as a dad, husband and a dad.
It was, we were put through, go ahead.
I was a wreck, yes. Oh, it's all right, you can say it. I was a wreck. I wanted him to live in a bubble and never leave our house. I was recovering emotionally as well, as the caregiver, as the mother of these 3 children that needed their father in their life. So I was reacting from a very vulnerable, scared position. And when I gained a little bit of strength, I gained some clarity. I let you go back.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I was very confident in his decision. I knew he and Heidi were not going to make a decision without having, 10 independent evaluations by neurologists and, crossing every T and dotting every I.
The first game that Tedy came back and played, I was in the stands with my father.
So I'm 2 inches from the TV screen. I see the first big hit come. Down he goes, and he's under a pig pile. And I did have a momentary stopping of my heart.
I call it the 3-second rule.
Yeah.
She put the 3-second rule on me. And tell me what the 3-second rule was.
If you're on the bottom of that pile for longer than 3 seconds, I'm coming out of the stands. I am coming down there to get you myself.
And I'm pulling you out of there.
And that's it. That's it.
And so I'm on the bottom of a pile my very first game. And there I am. I'm thinking of what she said, and I'm yelling at guys to get off. Get off, because the clock's ticking. It's been 4 seconds, honey.
And then I saw he motioned to Heidi. I could tell he looked towards Heidi.
I get up and I sort of wave to her. I'm okay. Stay in the stands.
We made more eye contact that first game back than ever.
Game before.
Yeah. I'm
right.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what are the moments when you need to find your strength? And they're the worst moments of your life. I remember a moment I was on the couch and I wanted to get onto the floor to be with my kids. And I went from the couch to the floor and I was exhausted.
I can say from many years of clinical experience that it's clearly the case that people who persevere and who are highly motivated and who work hard in therapies do a lot better than people who don't.
It's easy to be strong in times when things are going well, but when they're not, that strength sometimes is, you need to dig really deep, and you need help. You need your wife and you need your family to find it, but it's there. It's in all of us.
I think we try to be positive. We try to emphasize the improvements people are making, the recovery that they're having. We try to get people to live in a one-day-at-a-time mode.
It's armed me with confidence in the strength of our marriage, the strength of our family, the love we have within our family, that no matter what comes around, somehow, some way, we will find a way to get through it. That's what stroke has done for me. A lot of people would have maybe some reservations about coming up to a stroke survivor and ask him, well, why can't you use your right arm? I asked them, why can't you use your right arm? What are you working on? What are the drills that you're working on to get that better? What else do you have to work on? I ask these questions because it's the very questions I had for myself when I was rehabbing. Well, I guess, are we all stroke survivors in the room? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Me too. Yes. Me too. But when I visit those stroke survivors, they're friends of mine. They're friends of mine. I'm just one of them.
I think if I could talk to Tedy and tell him anything now, I think he probably innately knows this, but I've never really told him. He changed my life.
If I could tell Anne anything, how do you thank someone that gave you a second chance on life?
I would tell her that she was the right person for the job.
She might have been the only person for the job.
Yeah.
And they're going to give every one of their patients the same type of attention that I got. That's the great thing about Spaulding. You don't have to be a professional football player or a Super Bowl champion to get the best care. You get the best care when you're admitted into that hospital and you're a patient, period. You get the best care.